What is up? What is happening? Welcome back to Brock This Table. Today, we have a new video. This time, we are going over one prediction for every team in the 23-24 season. We're using a Rode microphone here, a Rode A. I don't know the company name, but hopefully it works. If not, the audio we picked up from my iPhone, but hopefully this new microphone we just got will work, and the audio will be a bit better, a bit clearer. If you can hear my fan in the background, I apologize. Yes, I am wearing a short, what are we calling this? A short sleeve? No sleeve shirt. It is 95 degrees out. It's September 1st, or September 5th, and it's 95 degrees outside in New York. What are we doing here? You don't care. You're here to see a video. You're here to see me talk about my one prediction for every NHL team. So let's get right into it. We did this last year. I liked the video a lot. Yeah, hopefully this one does well again. We're going to have to go through our predictions last year. We'll do that next video. But here it is. One prediction for every NHL team. So these are hot takes. So maybe prediction's the wrong term, but one hot take for every NHL team. So I'm going to change that in the actual thumbnail and video title. So one hot take. Some of these hot takes won't be too hot. Some of them will be. But Troy Terry will crack 40 goals next year. Big Troy Terry fan. He just re-upped for 7x7, I'm pretty sure. Really good contract for him. Great player. Very happy to see that. Let's see if the Ducks would take that next step this year. They did have a pretty good offseason. They did get Alex Killorn. They got Radko Gudas. I don't see them making playoffs or getting anywhere near that, but they did get some good players. So maybe the power play gets a bit better. Maybe McTavish and Zegras and maybe Zellweger step in and he can score more goals. Yes, McTavish and Zegras are already there. I get that. Maybe they'll step up and play better. I love Troy Terry. I'm very happy he's staying there. If not, I want to be an Islander, of course. But Troy Terry will crack 40 goals next year. The Coyotes will have over 35 wins for the first time since 2018-19. I really like the offseason the Arizona Coyotes had. I think they are probably my favorite. Favorite teams are wrong saying here, but they're probably one of my favorite teams this offseason. They added Jason Zucker, they added Matt Dumba, who some people are very iffy on, but I still think he will be a good player, especially if you're given bigger minutes with the Arizona Coyotes. Less pressure. If he doesn't do well, oh well. Zucker's a very big add. Getting Michelli back will be nice. Very good team Arizona has. Also, maybe they didn't have the best draft with Daniil Butt and the defenseman, I forget his name. A lot of people mocked them for that. But they have a lot of good prospects coming up. They have Josh Stone. They have Logan Cooley. They have so many other top high-end talents coming in. I think this might be the year that they finally get over 35 wins. I guess finally is a bit mean because they got it a few years ago. But I think they're going to have their best season in a few years. I don't think they'll make playoffs, but I think they're going to take a real nice improvement, and people are going to be surprised by them. Morgan GEEKIE of the Boston Bruins will have a breakout season. A lot of people have been trolling the Bruins lineup recently, and you know what? Fair enough. From going from a historic team to having Pavel Zacha as your first-line center, I get it. I see why people are making fun of them. I'm not ready to count the Bruins out yet. I don't think they'll be a playoff team, but I'm not ready to count them out just yet. A lot of very good players, a lot of interesting guys they added, like Denton Heinen just recently gave him a PTO. They still have some decent kids in the AHL, like Fabian Lysell, Oscar Steen, and I believe this other guy, I forget his name, I'll put his name in, you've already seen his name, but I think this other guy put up 34 goals in the AHL last year. They have some decent talent. I think one guy, Morgan GEEKIE, a very highly talented forward, will get the praise he might deserve this year. He was good with Seattle. I liked Seattle. Seattle's my second favorite team. I liked watching them a lot. Morgan GEEKIE, good player. I think with Boston having a shortage of top six forwards, maybe he steps in, puts up 35, 40 points, and has a breakout season. I like the player a lot. He did look good when I watched him, and I wouldn't be shocked if people are like, oh, wow. People aren't going to predict this, him, putting up 40, 45 points. We'll see. I like Morgan GEEKIE a lot. I think he could be a good player on the Boston Bruins. So this one, this one's pretty hot. One of the hotter ones I think I have, but let's continue. The Buffalo Sabres will not make the playoffs. I don't know how much of a hot take this is really, but hey, Sabres, very good team. Don't get me wrong. They're building the right way. I don't think they're there just yet. Dahlin might get 7 years or 8 years by 10.5. A lot of money there, but great player. We all know how much I like Darlene on his channel. I don't think they make the playoffs. There's still way too many good teams. Maybe you want to say they're better than Boston. That's fine. Boston still has the pedigree until they're not there. They're there. Tampa, Toronto. I think Ottawa's better than them. I don't think that's a hot take, really. Ottawa has a lot more proven talent. Not saying Buffalo doesn't, because they have an insane prospect pool as well. And Tage Thompson, Darlene, Power, Devin Levi. They have so many great players, but we need to see it come into place finally. So I'm going to say they don't make the playoffs this year. I hope they do, though, unless it's, resulting in the Islanders not making it. Elias Lindholm won't be on the Flames come American Thanksgiving. This one's already, starting to look like it's going to be wrong, as the Flames are looking to re-up him. He wants $9 million, which, fair enough. He is a very good hockey player. It looks like this one won't be true, but I already made it, so we're going to run with it. I really couldn't think of anything too crazy for the Flames. I don't see them as a team that's going to do too much damage this year, with all due respect. So a lot of these I'm trying to go player-based, some I'll do team-based, and some of them are just kind of tough because really isn't too much to talk about with some teams. Andrei Svechnikov will be a point-per-game player finally. Don't think this is that much of a hot take. I do think Svechnikov, if he could stay healthy, will take that next step and hopefully be a point-per-game player this year. He hasn't yet in his career. We all know how good he is and how talented he is. But I think this will be the year he finally does it. Not a very hot take, but still hasn't done it yet, so we're going to put it in. Connor Bedard will have a better rookie season than Austin Matthews had. Matthews had a really good rookie year. He had over 70 points, I believe, or he had 69 points. He had 30 goals. The stat line will be right down below. Connor Bedard, I don't think I don't think he's going to be a world beater right away. And if he is, that's going to be really cool to see. I don't think he's going to be a point-per-game player year one. We'll see about that, though. I think, saying 65 to 70 points is reasonable and fair. I think he'll have a better rookie year than Matthews had. I don't want to put him on that McDavid level yet until we see it. We all know how talented he is, but that's a lot of pressure to be under. So I'm going to go to Matthews now. I think McDavid would be way too unreasonable, even though McDavid was injured his rookie year, so it would also be a little unfair. Cale Makar will win MVP. I think every year for the Colorado Avalanche, I'm going to say Cale Makar will win MVP, and the one year I'm right, it will be awesome. Cale Makar, insane player, one of my favorite players in the league. It's a long shot. It's a big long shot here. I'm not looking to get more than 7 of these right, but if I get Cale Makar winning MVP right, I'll be so happy. If he wins the MVP, he keeps getting closer to that Bobby Orr status, which I think he will get at some point in his career. He has 1 cup already. He's the best defenseman in the world. There's really no doubt about that. You really can't argue that. Love Cale Makar. We're going to say Cale Makar win MVP. The Columbus Blue Jackets will be better than the Washington Capitals. Mark me, maybe fact check this, but I don't think the Blue Jackets have ever had a season in their franchise's history where they're better than the Capitals. Maybe 1, maybe 2, but every year the Blue Jackets were good, the Capitals were just better. I think this will finally be the year the Blue Jackets will be able to put things together and be better than Washington. I'm not the highest on Washington's roster, and obviously they have a lot of guys that are injury prone, like Tom Wilson and TJ Oshie, Nicholas Backstrom, etc. So I think this could be the year the Blue Jackets are better than the Washington Capitals. Have a good team. They kind of got screwed last year with injuries, and I really do like some of the players on their team. The Dallas Stars will win the President's Trophy. They have a nasty team and only got better this summer. They're looking to add one of their top prospects, Maverick Bourque, who's a reoccurring character on this channel if you watch the Be It Pro series. Added Matt Duchene. Well, they're going to add, he was their draft pick, Maverick Bourque. But they had Matt Duchene. They're really, really good. Jason Robertson, one of the best players in the world. Great decor. Jake Andre, very good goaltender. I know, bad playoffs. Still a great goaltender, though. I don't think this would be shocking for some people. Wouldn't be shocking for me. I think they could do it. I think the odds are pretty good on them doing it. Like, if you want to make money off gambling, I would gamble on that. The Red Wings will be overwhelming and not live up to their hype. So I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I know a lot of people are hyping them up right now. They're linked to getting Patrick Kane. The issue with the Red Wings here is still their number 2C. I guess if they get Kane, they do look better, but They have JT Comfort, Andrew Kopp as their second-line center right now. Yes, they got to brink it. Yes, they made good moves. I don't know if it's enough to be a playoff team yet. A lot of hype with Detroit. Obviously, Eisenman is their GM. The spotlight will always be on him. Detroit original 6 team. Fair enough. I don't think they're going to make playoffs and live up to their hype. Evan Bouchard will put up 65 points this season. Not really that crazy of a take. It's a pretty hot take, I guess, but Bouchard was incredible in the playoffs. Get him on power play 1 with McDavid and Draisaitl and let him just feast. I think it's very possible he does put up 65 points this year. Very good player, and yeah, McDavid merchant. That's fine. Generational wealth because of Connor McDavid. Go for it. Here is the take that makes me sad. The Florida Panthers will not make playoffs. I got a lot of crap for this last year, and I was 1 point away from being right. They won the President's Trophy 2 years ago. They literally made the playoffs by this much. And I was like, oh my god. If they would have missed it, that would have been one of the greatest calls that I've made on this channel. They didn't. They did not. So, yeah. They barely made it and then went to the Stanley Cup. Sweet. I don't think they're going to make it this year. The roster is going to be, I don't want to say aging, everyone ages, but the roster is pretty banged up from the Cup run last year, and their offseason wasn't great. They got Mike Riley. They got one very good move I would say they did have is Evan Rodriguez. They got Mike Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Will they have maybe Bob's back to regular Bob? I don't know what regular Bob even means anymore. Spencer Knight should be back. They're going to need a goalie to really step up, and they easily could get that play from one of the two, but we got to see it first. I don't think they'll make playoffs. Atlantic's too stacked, and the Metro is good as well. Quinton Byfield will score 20 goals this season. This will be the year Quinton Byfield finally breaks out. I'm really hoping so. He has that quote-unquote unicorn potential. Look at Tage Thompson. He took a while to really pan out. Quinton Byfield is a very similar case. I think he put up 20 this year. He hasn't put up over 6 or 7 goals in his career for a season yet. Byfield, this is your year to do it. I'm hoping he gets top 6 minutes and good power play minutes. I know they made that big trade for Pierre-Luc Dubois. Put him on the wing. Please just let him get some good playing time. Kirill Kaprizov will win the Rocket Richard. So that means he'll have the most goals in the league this season. If he can stay healthy, I don't think that's much of a hot take. You're going to look at Pasta, Matthews, Ovi. Kaprizov's right up there, one of the best goal scorers in hockey. Maybe he doesn't have the greatest teammates in the world as these other guys do, but hey, he's one special player, and I think this is very possible of happening. So, hot take, yes, but possible, also yes. Montreal. Yuri Slavkovsky starts to get bust shouts from the mainstream media. Not rooting for the downfall of this kid, but if he doesn't have a good year, we know how it is up there in Montreal and in Canada with the media. If it's not looking great for him after year 2, there's going to be question marks. He's still so young. I don't want to be negative here. I really couldn't think of anything for Montreal, but if he does have a bad year, there's going to be a lot of question marks around his future in the NHL. I think he'll be fine. I don't know. There was definitely some highs, some highs, a lot of lows last year for him. I'm hoping he bounces back and has a good year, though, because, it'd be cool to see Montreal have their own superstar, alongside Caulfield, obviously, and Suzuki. So I'm rooting for Slavkovsky, but I could see the media really turning on him quick. Not really a hot take. I couldn't really think of a good one for Montreal, to be honest. So the Nashville Predators will have their worst season in over a decade. Barry Trotz is there. Their offseason was really weird. They got rid of a lot of their good players, and Matt Duchene, and who was the other guy? Matt Duchene and Ryan Johansson, Got rid of some really good players, brought in some okay players. They had a really weird July 1st. They brought in Gustav Nyquist and some other, maybe not players you'd expect them to bring in. Maybe they're trying to compete now. I don't really want to count out a Barry Trotz roster. He's not coaching, though, to be fair. He's a GM. I'm just not in love with it. I think they're going to have their worst season in over a decade. I'll put what their worst season was in the last decade here. Should have done that in the original slide, but I didn't. Jack Hughes will lead the East in points. I would have really wanted to say the league in points, but Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl exist, so I will not. I don't think it's much of a hot take. I think he was 10th or 11th in points this year. Everyone's expecting Jack Hughes to take that next step up as well this year, so it's very likely that this one could happen. I'd back it. Jack Hughes, he rocks. This one's a very hot take. The New York Islanders will have 2 point-per-game players. The New York Islanders haven't had 1 point-per-game player since 2017-18 when it was Matthew Barzal. Tavares had 81 points that year. Barzal had 85. Since then, or I guess technically Tavares might have been a point per game that year. We'll fact check that, but regardless, we haven't had 2 point per game players at least since 18-19, if even way before that, early 2000s. So hasn't happened for a while. It's very possible. Maybe it happened in one of the lockout years, but regardless, I think it could happen this year as long as the Islanders have a decent power play. It might not even be Matt Barzal either. You look at Brock Nelson, who I think is our best forward. Maybe an interesting take. Brock Nelson rocks. I could see him being a point per game this year. Possibly Horvat, possibly Barzal. Few options that really could get over 82 points per game. And we're going to say they have to at least play 60 games. I think that's a fair marker. Because if they play like 5 games, that doesn't count. Adam Fox will lead the Rangers in points. Another hot take, probably won't happen with Panarin and Mika Zibanejad there, but hey, Adam Fox, really good defenseman. We'll do a shout like this. Screw it, why not? The Ottawa Senators will make the playoffs. I don't know how much of a hot take this is. It depends how you look at Florida, Buffalo, and Detroit. I think Ottawa's the best team out of that batch. Really good forward core. The big issue with them is goaltending. I like the team a lot. Will they, if they stay healthy, very good team, obviously. They did get Korpisalo. Some people think he'll be good there. A lot of people don't think he will be, so kind of just depends how that works. But I kind of back the Senators right now. Or I am backing Senators right now. Carter Hart won't get traded despite the rumors of the franchise looking to move on. Kata Hat will be a Philadelphia Flyer by the end of this year. Probably likely to happen. You know, everyone's expecting this trade to happen or have happened already. It's almost training camp, hasn't happened yet. We'll see how it goes. We're going to say he's not going to get traded. There really wasn't too much I could think of for Philly. It's kind of just a weird team in a weird year. Last year, my prediction for Philly was good, though. I think I said they won't be the worst team in the Metro, and they weren't. The Pittsburgh Penguins will miss the playoffs. Maybe this is a lazy take in your opinion, because maybe I could have done something better. The East is really stacked. I don't think the Penguins will make the playoffs, even with Erik Karlsson. The East is too good. I don't see them making... I know they were very close to making it last year. They got Erik Karlsson, sure, but I don't know if that's going to push them over in a more stacked East now. It'll be fun to watch. I don't know, though. I really don't think so. They still have Jari. A lot of question marks still there. Obviously, they have incredible players. Don't get me wrong. Gensel's also hurt for a little while now, too, so I think he is. If he's not, I apologize. But I don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. Sorry for a lot of the will make or will miss playoffs ones. Just for the East, it's kind of a big talking point right now because how good the East is. William Eklund will score 20 goals this season. Once again, San Jose is kind of a tough one to do. I do have some fun ones coming up, though, I know for a fact. William Eklund, one of their top prospects, elite goal scorer when he was younger. You know, I think he was drafted 15th or at least top 10, or at least top 15 around there. Great player. Will he finally become that goal scorer that they're desperately looking for? I think this could be the year for him. I think I'm going to pencil him in for 22 goals. Matty Beniers will crack 70 points this season. Matty Beniers, great player. Love Matty Beniers. 70 points is pretty doable for him. He's a first-line center there. It all depends on his power play time. Last year, he got a lot of minutes on power play, too. So I think this year, hopefully, he gets time on power play 1. See what happens with Shane Wright. Really good team, Seattle Kraken. I'm very excited to watch him again this year. The St. Louis Blues will be surprisingly good. Will be a surprisingly good storyline this season. Look at their roster. People aren't really talking about the Blues for, whatever reason. They actually have a pretty good roster. Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Vrana. There's a lot of other good names I'm not going to mention right now. Their biggest issue is obviously in goal with Jordan Binnington. I know he's won them a cup, fair enough, but hasn't been good in the last few years. They have actually a pretty good team, to be fair to them. I think they can make some noise, maybe not make playoffs, maybe get close. I think there'll be a very good storyline. People will appreciate this Blues team more than, they are right now. Not really too many people think they're that good. So, I think the Blues will actually have a pretty good year. Tampa Bay will make the biggest splash at the trade deadline. This one's pretty unlikely to happen, but I'm going to predict that a guy like maybe Stamkos goes down. It will give Tampa the cap to work with, and they're going to get the biggest name on the market. Who that's going to be, I don't know yet. But that's my hot take. The Leafs Big Four will have a combined point total of less than 280. This one's going to be a tough one for it not to happen. You have the Big Four, obviously, is Matthews, Marner, I almost said Barzal. Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares. You could almost pencil in Marner and Matthews for 90 points each. So that's 170 right there, or 180 right there. So that means Tavares and Nylander will have to have under 100, 100 is very unlikely. I think it's going to happen. I'm not rooting for injuries. I think this one is possible. It will be tough, though. Let's see what happens. Brock Besser will be traded by American Thanksgiving. His name's been floated around forever now. I think he's finally going to get moved if the Canucks have a rough start. They're not going to make playoffs. I know some fans want them to push and try to be as good as they can right away. Just trade Besser, get some prospects back, maybe trade him to Washington, get Hendricks Lapierre, McMichael, and a pick or two back. See what you could do. Yeah, I don't see Brock Besser being there for too much longer. And I'm not going to say traded. I want to make a strong date, so by American Thanksgiving. Shea Theodore will put up 65 plus points this season. Shea Theodore, Stanley Cup champion. Love the way that sounds. Incredible player. Finally starting to get the respect he deserves. I think he's going to put up over 65 points this year. Fair enough. Ovi will hit 850 goals by the middle of January. That means he will hit 33 goals by the middle of January, I believe. Very doable. I wanted to say the start of January, but that's just a lot of goals and a lot of games. If anyone could do it, it would be Ovi, but I don't think he'll put up that many goals that early on. So I believe he'll get it by middle of January. I think that's fair to say. I believe this is the last. Yeah, Winnipeg should be last. The Jets will keep Hellebuck. Yes, I know that's Kyle Connor. I did the slideshow thing before. I did the hot take. The Jets will keep Hellebuck this season and still miss playoffs. Maybe not that hot of a take. Two things have to happen there, obviously, so a little bit tougher. I don't think they make playoffs. People are really starting to hype up that roster. Not the biggest fan of it, personally. They had a good move. They got rid of PLD. They got Gabe Velarde, and they got... I'll put the trade down below, but they got Velarde and a few other good pieces. Not Michael Amadio. It's another good forward on the Kings. Michael Amadio was on Vegas also. What are you doing, AJ? But they got some good pieces from the Kings. I still don't think they're going to be good enough to make playoffs. They did also lose Blake Wheeler. I think they will keep Hellebuck, though, for this season. And that's all the hot takes. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know which one is the worst and why you hate me down below. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one.